all titanium tipped exhaust, but they make two options. There's two or one exit, and I bought the single mostly because I'm cheap. And this is what it sounds like without the silencer in. I had another video that I posted with the silencer in it while I was driving around Juneau, and see if you can tell a difference the drone wise. Right now I'm running about 50 miles an hour, kind of cruising. I'll get some more shots of some acceleration, but it's much louder in the cabin. With the silencer placed in the exhaust, it's not very loud at all. It's actually pretty quiet compared to most aftermarket exhausts. But this is significantly louder. This is warm startup. Sunny day we've had in a little while. Well, partly sunny, but it's as good as it gets around here sometimes. It's very nice though. A little full throttle here. About 80. Slowing down there. Down to about 58 here. So this is cruising without the silencer. exhaust sounds like from inside the car. Maybe only a gear or two. Midway through second. It's really all you can afford. On the 40 AT, first gear seems to get you around 40 miles an hour, second gear somewhere around the 80 mile an hour mark. And it forces a shift itself, so I'm not shifting, or at least I didn't on this last one between first and second. For full throttle runs, if you want the best time, you just let it shift on its own at redline while it's in sport shift mode, or manual shift mode actually, and it'll produce the best times. I do actually get after fire out the back of this pipe. I have no catalytic converter. It does have a resonator just like the NVIDIA exhaust, but it's mostly straight through, as well as straight through on the exhaust itself, on the muffler. So I do have a video in here as well that shows some after fire. It's very nice at night, and almost all the time in Juneau it's nighttime in the winter, so I'm sure lots of people have gotten to see a little bit of fire coming out the back end. Happens pretty much only between my 1-2 and 2-3 shift, and occasionally when I let off while cruising, if I'm in a certain range, it'll let off a little flame.